Hello everyone, welcome to our programming series. Today I am going to cover deployer package. This dplyr package purpose, why we need this dplyr package, how to get it this dplyr package, and what is the purpose of dplyr package, and what all functions in this dplyr package is what I am going to cover in this video. Okay, fine. This dplyr package or deployer package is a package which is used to play with data frames or play with the data and get a certain outputs, expected outputs. Okay, basically this deployer package is a grammar of data manipulation. So any kind of manipulation we can do with the predefined functions we have already, which we discussed in previous video, and also have discussed some apply functions, family of apply functions, with which also we can do a manipulation, and a certain operations or certain kind of manipulations we can do with deployer package will be a superset of all those functions. It's like, so all the features of those functions we have in this deployer package, along with that we have extra additional features as well. So that advantage we have in this deployer package. Okay, this is what I'm going to cover in today's session. What all functions we have, how those functions we can use, and how to manipulate data. Those all things we can I'm going to explain. Okay, so basically in data science we have very preliminarily we have two steps. One is data exploratory, and then data visualization and presentation. So these are the two, maybe people will take different steps actually. So in my perspective, a very basic level I can say these are the major two things which I am going to do with this R package, R software. So one is exploratory, data exploratory. Second one is visualization and presentation. So these are the two things I'm going to do with my R. So out of these two, so my deployer package will be useful in exploratory, data exploratory part. Okay, fine. So in detail, we are going to discuss that. So before proceeding on to detail, I'm going to explain one important thing, which is a package. So what is meant by package in R programming? So R programming, as I told in my previous lectures, R is an open source, so anybody can contribute to it. So which will be available in a certain common area. So for that, we have a big network for this R. For this R, we have a big network which is CRAN, CRAN. So here CRAN stands for C for comprehensive, R for R, A for archive, N for network. So this is a place where we have all the packages which belongs to R. So out of which one I am going to explain, which is deployer package. So I can show you how many packages we have in R. As on date, we have 11,869 packages we have in R. So out of that, I'm going to explain one package which is deployer package. So we need to explore this all package. Okay, which package is useful for our requirement? So which package is going to use in our coding? So those all things we need to know, and then we can use it. So why I'm going to take this deployer package is, so deployer package is useful in data manipulation. It's a grammar for data manipulation. So that's why I'm aware of this package. So what is the functionality, how it works? So that's why I'm going to use this in my in our exploration, data exploration. So similarly, if you explore other package, what is the purpose of that package and how it works, if you explore like this, then you can use those packages as well. So here I have opened the list of packages available in R programming. So these are 11,863 packages which we have here. Here we have the date, the latest update date. Here we have first column and then package name and then a small description about that package. Okay, fine. So this is the background of deployer package. So from where we are starting is we have set of packages which are maintained by our CRAN group, which is comprehensive archive network. So this is a central repository for everyone who is working with R. So from where you can download anytime any package and then use in your coding. So that's why I'm shown this procedure, this place also. So from where this R is coming and what all other packages we have that you can explore here. All the big list we have here, we can explore here, and out of which all package you want, you can take it and use it. So maybe in next session also I'm going to use one more package, tidyverse. So that is also which is part of this all list. So likewise, we can use based on our requirement. We are going to use one by one package from this comprehensive or archive network. So fine. So here we have all the list of packages. Fine. So but how we can get this package, means piece of code related to this package into our local? So that we can do with the help of the single line code, which is install dot packages, and within brackets and within quotes you can mention the package name. So here dplyr I mentioned. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to download my dplyr package from the comprehensive R archive network. So I have written this piece of code already, install.packages, and dplyr is my package name. I'm going to run this, selecting this line and control enter. So it will start installing, which nothing but it is downloading that piece of code into my local machine. So here you can see the download portion as well. So it is downloading. So the complete source for this, it is downloading. Okay, once downloading is completed, we can see the cursor uh, will be coming out of that. So we can conclude that it's downloaded successfully, which is nothing but it is downloaded to our local directory, our local computer. It's not loaded into our session. So if you want to load any library which is downloaded to local into your session, you need to use this library of that package name, so that this package will be part of our session, this R studio session or our session working session. It will be loaded from the first step will be downloaded to your local computer. The second step is we need to bring that local copy of the deployer package into our session. So for that we need to use the library of deployer. So I'm doing the same thing. So now I can say this loading of this deployer package is also done. Now I can say for this we have so many kind of functions we have inside this deployer package, or functions you call it as, or attribute you can call it as, or a grammar of this data manipulation you call it as. So many we have, but out of which is relevant and which is most frequently used functions, that I'm going to cover as part of this deployer package session, which is select function, filter function, arrange function, mutate function, summary function, and group by function. So these all very simple functions in under deployer package. Who are all familiar with the database, for them it will be very simple compared to others, because these are same set of things we are going to use in our database as well. So that's why I'm telling you, these are very simple if you are expert in database, or beginner level if you know basics things about database. These are a same kind of functionality these are going to show in deployer uh, package as well. So now for this I'm going to use a data frame called empty cars. So if you want to see the empty cars, I can say view of empty car. Sorry, simply I can say empty car. So what happens is, so number of rows we have actually here in that data frame. So many columns, rows are there. So it is coming to completely down. So we can see all the rows here, but we don't know the names. We don't know the column names. So if you want to see the data structure or structure of this data frame, you can see names of empty car. So the names of empty car is mpg, miles per gallon, cylinder, number of cylinders, displacement, hp, horsepower, like that, weight, vs, am, gear, car. So all these column names you can see here. The column names under empty cars data frame are, we can see like this: mpg, cylinder, displacement, like that. So now we are clear with the empty cars data frame. So what all columns we have and what kind of data we have. See, mpg names. So this Lotus Europa and then 30.44, like this. So we have, so now we got a basic idea about this empty car. So on this empty car only I'm going to uh, explain. So what all uh, operations I'm going to perform with this empty cars data frame. I'm going to show now. So okay, fine. So moving on to first function, select. Select here, the basic understanding is, if you want to select from empty cars a certain columns, then you can do so with select of empty cars, comma, cylinder and displacement. Simple line, one liner code you can write and execute it. Control enter. You are going to get empty cars and from empty cars, cylinder column and displacement column, which is going to display here. You can see Mazda RX-4 has 6 cylinders and displacement is 160 for this Mazda RX-4. So these are the details. Only cylinder and displacement I have selected. So select the data frame. The basic syntax is, so I can write that also. Basic syntax here. So select, I need to write within that data frame which data frame you want to operate, and then the column name, column 1 or column 2, like this. How many ever number of columns you want to have, you can have it. So this is a syntax, kind of syntax. So this is how it is going to work. Simple. If you want to select certain columns from a data frame, this is how you are going to get it. Or if you want to get another columns, select empty cars, mpg displacement. This time I am going to get mpg displacement. So here number of rows are more. So what I can do is, here I can use head function. Head will give the top 6 rows of that result. Maybe it will be having 30 to 40 rows in a result, but I just want to see the sample result. So which means I can say first 6 rows of that result. So I can use this head function. So head of this select, if I write, what it is going to do is going to give me the first 6 rows of that result. It may be having some 30 rows, but I got it only 6 rows. Now we can see, so what I selected is mpg, that mpg row is there, displacement, that displacement column is also there, mpg column, displacement column is there. So that result we can just match it with our query. So whatever we are trying to query and what we are getting, so that it will be understandable instead of so many rows we are getting as a result. Okay. So then this is one option. Simply data frame name and column names we provide it, we will get the result. So now I want to say, suppose I have 10 columns. Out of the 10 columns, I don't want only one column. So that how we can achieve is, we can either write select empty cars and write down all the 9 columns. That is one way. Instead you can write select empty cars minus the column which we don't want. So I don't want displacement, disp, I don't want this column, so I return select empty cars minus displacement. So except this column, I'm going to get all the column name: MPG, cylinder, HP, draft, weight, QSEC, VS, AM, gear, carb. So all columns we got it except displacement. So this is one more option we have in select. And then moving on to next option, what we have is select range. Suppose I have cylinder to HP. So cylinder is this column to HP. So maybe what all columns in between those we have, all those will be coming. So here cylinder, displacement, HP. So these are the three consecutive columns. So from starting from cylinder to HP, it is going to display me. So similarly, instead of that, if I say 2 to 4, so column 2 to column 4, that also I'm going to get nicely. Cylinder, displacement, HP. So either you can give column name to column name, or you can give column name number to column name number. So that is also going to work. Suppose if you want to, uh, if you don't want to provide any column name, then it will not give you any result. You have to specify the column name. Only simply provide empty cars, it is not going to give you any column here. So you have to provide column name. Okay, without comma also it is not working. Just for your clarification, I have showed. So without column name mentioning here, we are not going to get any result here. Then moving on to that last option. So if you can say I didn't remember the column names, so what all columns we have in this I didn't remember. So I can say I want to have the columns which starts with a certain letter. Okay, I didn't remember the name, complete name, but I can say D. So columns which all start with D, I want that result. So here column names are displacement and DRAT. So these are the two columns we have in empty cars. So the criteria here are matching, so the same we are going to get it here. So this is all about select function. Moving on to next one is filter. So this is selecting without any filter. First option only selecting all the rows. So now, so first criteria is simply we can say column filter. Okay, we are going to say what all columns we want. So what all columns we want, that we are going to say here. Now moving on to the next is filter. Filter is for which all rows we want. So we can say filter empty car where cylinder equal to 8. So those are all I want actually. So if I try here, so all the columns, there is no specific here columns. So all the columns with cylinder equal to 8. So cylinder value is equal to 8. So make sure to give double equal. If single equal doesn't work in this filter. So simply provide what is the data frame name, and then what is the column you want to filter, that you filter it. So based on that filter, all the column with rows matching will be populated. So similarly, I can say filter empty car cylinder less than or equal to 8. Cylinder value less than or equal to 8 I want it. So this is how I am going to get the values. Similarly, I can write multiple condition, multiple filter condition. So I can say cylinder less than equal to 8, that is one condition. So we have also VS1 column name, that column wherever we have one, that only I want. So that also I can get it like this. And the condition also VS, you can see all are ones only. And cylinder, if you see, all are less than 8 only. So these two conditions also, multiple conditions also we can place in filter. So then I'm going to use R condition as well. Now just now we saw end condition. Now I'm going to see R condition. So which is nothing but either one condition is true, it is going to get me the result. So here VS, you can see 0 also there. Still we got the result because it is matching, cylinder condition is matched. So that's why cylinder condition is less than 8. So we are getting this result. So R condition is like any one condition, either cylinder less than 8 condition is true, it is going to give the row. VS equal to 1, it is going to give the result. So that is how this filter condition is going to work. And then moving on to next condition, next option in filter, which is percentile in. So empty cars is the data frame, cylinder value in 6 comma 8. Cylinder value is 6, I want that rows. cylinder column is 8, I want those rows. So this is how I'm going to get. I don't want 7 or I don't want 4, I don't want 3 or something like that. I want exactly the cylinders, vehicles with cylinder 6 and vehicles with cylinder 8 I want. So that is how I'm going to get it here. Then moving on to the next option, arrange. So this is like arrangement of the rows. So it's like order by. So arrange empty cars based on cylinder. So if you see here, so cylinder values are starting with 4. So okay, 4. All the rows related to 4, then all the rows related to 6, then all the rows related to 8. So this is order. So order by or arrange by cylinders. So we are going to arrange this in a default. It's a descending, sorry, default it is a ascending order. So okay, I'm going to write here comment default ascending order it is going to apply. So if you want the same in descending order, okay, which means starting with 8 cylinder number 8 cylinders with 8 I want the vehicles, then I'm going to write empty cars descending of cylinder. I can run this. So I can see at the bottom I got 4, which is nothing but a low, and the above I can see 6, and the above more above I can see 8. So this is a descending. So arrange by ascending, arrange by descending. So default is ascending order. So moving on to a next option, which is mutate. Mutate is used to add new column to the data frame. So we have already 10 columns. Now we want to add one more column, our column into the data frame, then that we can do with the help of mutate. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the same mutate of empty car data frame. I'm going to add my column m by col column. What I'm going to do is already I have displacement column, so I'm going to divide that with 1.0.32. So I'm just going to add this and see. So at the end, it is added this 170, 291. All these are last row is last column is for my column. So if you want to see properly with heading, you can see that as well. Head I can see. So the last is my column. So this is what I have added to empty cars. So if you want to add any new column to the data frame, we can use this mutate from deployer package. Then moving on to the last operation, last but one operation, summarize. So if you want to apply, which is nothing but it's a summarize of nothing but some function we want to apply on a particular column and get a cumulative result that we can do with the help of summarize. So summarize empty cars mean displacement. So we have around some 30 to 40 vehicles. What is the mean of the 30-40 vehicles displacement? Mean displacement of that 30 to 40 vehicles. If I want to know, so that I can get it summarize of empty cars mean displacement, I'm going to get 230.7219. So if I want to get the what is the minimum displacement, that also I can get it, which is 71.1. If I want to get maximum displacement, which is 472. So like this we can use all these functions, variety of functions we have. First one is 160. What is the first one? What is the last one? So 121 is the last. So like this we can apply functions on a particular column and get the result in this fashion. So this is how summarize function is going to work. Moving on to next one, group by. So this group by I want to explain in a simplified manner in the sense which will cover all the previous functions. Suppose if I create a department vector, department number, I have departments here, which is a simple example I'm showing. So I have department 10, 20, 10, 10, 20, 30, 40, 30, 20, 40. So basically I have 10, 20, 30, 44 departments I have, but we have 10 people here. These are the names, simple namesake, a simple understanding I given some alphabets A, B, K, H like that. So these are the names of 10 employees of particular department. Then their salaries, 10 employees are there, so their salaries also I'm going to make it in a vector. So now we have three vectors: department name, and then salary. So three uh, okay. I have created three vectors: department number, name, salary. And I'm going to create a data frame. EMP, employee, is my data frame. Data frame is data dot frame, and I'm going to use all these three vectors: department number, name, salary. So like this I'm going to create data frame. So I have my data frame. If I want to see this data frame, I can see. So you can see it is nicely built up here in table. So I have department 10, name of the employee A, and his salary 10,000. 20, name B, salary 9,000. So like this I can create a data frame. So this in detail how I have explained in my previous session of data structures or data object session. So you can refer this how to create data frame, how to work with the data frame, and with more examples and more detail in that session. So now time being, this much is enough for the data frame. Once data frame is created, now I want to know from this table, from this employee table, I want to know department wise what is the average salary. So 10th department we may be having one two three employees in 10th department. So I want to know average salary of this 10th department, so which is nothing but the mean of the 10th department. So I know that mean I can apply with the help of summarize, but if I want to group by this department, then I need to use this group by function. So inside summarize I can write summarize group by this employee is my data frame, group by department number, and mean of salary I want it. So forget about this distribution standard deviation. So I want mean of salary for this department wise. So if I do this, what I'm going to get is, so for 10th department it is 20,000, 20th department is 12,333, 14th 30th department 449, 14,499, and 40th department is for 18,000. So like this we have uh, mean for each department. So moving on to next, likewise we can try to get a simplified data with the help of these functions. Okay, mean, or we can apply like a number of, suppose if I want to say I want to know how many people are there in each department, that I can get it total equal to n percentage. So along with this mean I want to see the total. So in 10th department I have 3, 20th department I have 3, 30th department I have 2 employees, and 40th department I have 2 employees. So overall it's a 3 3 2 2, which is 10 employees I have, which is what I have created. So likewise we can get multiple we can do multiple operations on a data frame to get certain exploration. Okay, okay, what is suppose I have a department with this table, I have this table. So simply if I can see each employee, I have here like certain salaries. Suppose a new employee is going to join, so suppose he is going to be part of department 30. So how much I can give him a salary? So that how I'm going to get that is, I can see the existing data. So that existing data, 30th department, the average salary is 14,490. So I should consider this is my a mark, a certain level or a benchmark. So maybe I can give extra another 10% more than this, or 10% less than this, like that. So this data will be useful. So this is how we can explorate the data and do our future prediction. So here the prediction is nothing but we are going to predict the new employee, or we are going to what is that, calculate the new employee who is going to join in 30th department what is his salary, how much we can give him a salary. So this may be a simple, very, very basic example you can consider. So this is how we can use this R programming to do kind of like a calculation purpose, you can say, or prediction purpose, you can say. So we can use this deployer package in R. So moving on to the next and last option, we can say in our deployer package, we have one pipe command. The pipe command here is like this. So percentile greater than percentile is a pipe command, which is nothing but, so here I have EMP, which is nothing but all the data in EMP I'm going to input to the next operation. What I'm going to do here, I'm going to group by the department. So now we have first stage, we have all the employees without any group by or without any function we have. So that we are going to input to group by department number. So now that employee table is going to group by a department number wise. So first set of first category we have is like, first cluster will be having a 10th department 3 employees, second cluster will be having 20th department 3 employees, third cluster will be having 30th department 2 employees, and fourth cluster will be having uh, 40th department 2 employees, like that. So that is what we are doing in next step. So that result we are going to input to next stage. What we are going to do in next step is summarize nothing but we are going to do some function we are going to apply on that result. So whatever clusters we have created, on the clusters we are going to do mean function. We are going to apply mean function on salary column, and mean function on salary column, max function on salary column, total number of rows for each cluster, total number of entries in that each cluster is what we are going to calculate. So that we are going to do either in this way, in this fashion, or we can use this way also. This is it's a pipe command, which is like it is going to forward that whatever the result, so employee result, it is forwarding to uh, group by of this expression, and this expression's result is going to forward further to this expression, and this expression is maybe can forward to next level if we don't have the result of this expression is going to display here. So let me see what it is going to give me is the same. So here I have a 10th department, so we have three. So one is mean of 10th department is 20,000. Minimum of that department is 10,000. Maximum we have is 30,000. Total number of employees in that department is 3. So like this, certain calculation, certain operation we can do on a data frame and get the result. So this is all about a deployer package. So you can explore more about this deployer package. So for that also we have a document. If you go to rcran.r-project.org, under that you can go to packages, and then you will get the list of packages. You can search for dplyr package. Okay, so you can click on it, the deployer package, and you can say, so reference manual, you can download this deployer.pdf and you can refer it for more detail. So I can say I have given an explanation which is in brief, like which all meaningful function we are using and which all frequently used or majorly used function that I have covered as part of my lecture. So remaining in detail are small other topics in the deployer function. If you want to go through for kind of reference, you can use this one deployer.pdf and get it more clarification on that. So thank you for watching my video. Please do subscribe and like for more videos. Thank you.